What's good, guys, and welcome back to the Xetrobeats TV. Like always, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and to leave a like to this video. In today's one, I want to show you how to make a guitar beat for Future. And to do that, I'm gonna do a breakdown of one of my recent beats called Money. So let's get into it. So to have the best result as possible, you should play a real guitar or just find a loop of a real guitar on Splice or somewhere. Because if you create that with a VST, I mean, yeah, you can have a good result for sure, but it will never be like a real guitar play it. So I started recording this one. Then I add a couple of other guitar melodies to support the main one. What you're listening right now is without any effects, so let me show you what I put on the guitar. So yeah, the tuner, it was just to tune the guitar, obviously. And I put at first a preamp to give it a little bit of color and volume, basically. Then I put an LA2 to compress everything and add also harmonics to the sound. Then I add an effect track with a micro shift that is basically a chorus, so just to open a little bit the guitar in the stereo image, and an Echo Boy to add some delay. And in the end, a Pultec to add a little bit more of bass frequencies that I lost in the melody bus, because as you can see, there is no EQ here because I put it in the melody bus. In the melody bus, I have this EQ that cuts all the lows. So with the Pultec, I add a little bit more bass frequencies to keep the guitar solid. So the guitar with the effects sound like this. And for the intro, I also add a bass that is just an electric bass from Kontakt. Really simple, nothing crazy. I just put a chorus in it just to make it a little bit more stereo. And that's it. So the intro with the bass sound like this. In the drop, I recorded also a flute because guitar and flutes always sounds good together. So here's the flute. And on this flute, I just put the same preamp that you saw before, the same compressor. I add some reverb with the Valhalla and basically the effect track with the same two plugins that you saw before. So the micro shift for opening it in the stereo image and the Echo Boy for some delay. But let's go on the melody bus. So as you saw before, I have an EQ that cuts all the low below the 200 Hz. Then I add a sound shifter to pitch down the melodies 8 semitones, because the original one sounded like this. So I pitch it down 8 semitones. Sound way better now. After the pitch shifter, I added an oxide tape recorder just to add some tape saturation and a soothe to remove all those like unwanted frequencies and resonances. In the end, I cut again the low frequencies here to be sure I don't have any like muddy frequencies that can crash with the 808. So basically the guitar with the flute sound like this. Sound too fire, but let's see how I made the drums. Let's start from the 808. Always remember that to have that like hard sound, you know, that slapping 808, you have to boost it a little bit from here. I boosted like 5% and then I turned it down a little bit the volume because it was too much. Obviously you need the soft clipper on the master, because if you don't put the soft clipper on the master, it will not sound good and everything will clip. About the pattern, it's really simple, nothing too much complicated. Then we have a clap. Hi-hats. bouncy hi-hats. If you're wondering about the hi-hat rolls, I always make them in 1/3 step, and there aren't like rules to make hi-hats. I mean, you can like feel the bounce and just add some rolls here and somewhere. A trick that I can tell you is to put like a roll before something, so a roll before like the 808 hit or before the snare, I mean before some perks. This gives really good bounce to the beat. But also if you put them like in the end of the bar, it will always sound good. As you can see, like every time in the end of the bar there is always like a roll. Then I added a reverse open it before some claps. An open hat, and then last element I have a snare to add even more bounce. I have all my drums routed to the drum bus. I put them in mono, so every drum sound in the center and they are like separated from the melody. And on the drum bus I put a black box where I put like the D knob at max, and then I turn down the mix till 8% to give just a little bit of saturation to the drums. So let's hear the difference. This is without the black box. And with the black box. So as you can hear, it's just a little bit of saturation, nothing like too much aggressive. About the arrangement, I structured the beat like most of the arrangement I do for all my beats. I start with the intro, then I do a verse here, then we have the hook, 16 bars, verse, and the bridge here. This first 8-bar verse can be used as hook as well, to have a hook of 16 bars if the artist want to do that. And basically after the bridge, everything repeats. And I close the beat adding basically the hook, first without the flute and then with the flute. And then we have the outro without any drums, just the melody with a fade out. And now let's give a listen to the full beat. Yes, I forgot to tell you that I pitched down the guitar in the verse to give some variation. So that's it for today's video, guys. I hope you found this breakdown helpful and that you learned something from it. Leave a like and leave a comment telling me what you think about this beat, and see you in the next video, guys.